Hi, I'm Leia from Crafty Banana Tea, and in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make these roses and vases out of polymer clay. Here are the supplies you'll need. Everything can be found in my Amazon storefront. Here are some optional supplies, especially if you want to make the white roses with the colored tips. And here's what you'll need to make the vases. You can use an oven mitt instead of a heat protectant glove, but keep in mind you'll need two. To get started, cut your wire into smaller pieces. Keep them on the longer side because you can always cut them shorter later. Next, take a small piece of clay and roll it into a cone shape using your thumb and index finger. Squeeze a small dollop of the oven-baked clay adhesive on your work surface or on some wax paper and dip the tip of the wire in it. You only need a little bit. Next, push the wire into the bottom part of the cone we made earlier. If your cone gets deformed when you put the wire in, you can create a starter hole with your needle tool. Stick the combined wire and cone in the oven for 10 minutes using the temperature on the instructions of the clay you're using. While that's baking, we'll work on the petals. You can either use your circle cutters or just eyeball small balls of clay. Roll your petal into a ball and use your ball tool to pull the point downwards, then fan out the top. Next, use your dotting tool on the top of the petal to create some texture. Use your blade to take the petal off your finger, but be very careful. Instead of using your finger, you can also use a foam sheet, but I usually end up with this problem, which is why I use my finger. Now that your stems and bulbs are cooled, we're going to start adding the petals. Coat the bulb in a thin coat of oven-baked adhesive using a silicone tool or your finger. Place the first petal onto the bulb like so. Always start by placing the bottom of the petal first, then forming it around the bulb. Your next petal should be on the other side of your first petal, and the sides of the petals should overlap. You can also stop here for a baby rose. The middle of your next petal should be placed right on the overlap of the first two petals. Repeat on the other side. This is optional, but you can use your silicone tool to make sure the petals are well adhered. Keep placing and overlapping your petals. Once you get farther out, you want to make sure the bottoms of your petals are placed towards the bottom, not the middle. As you're working, you can fan out the petals using your finger or even using a silicone tool. Next, I'm going to show you how I added the pink tips to these white roses. Take the colored chalk pastel you want and shave some onto your work surface. You can either use a soft paintbrush or even a makeup brush to apply the color. Make sure to only pick up a small amount of pastel and brush it on lightly to the tips. To make the rainbow rose, all you have to do is alternate different colors for each petal. This next part is if you want to add some leaves to your roses. Make a diamond shape and then smush it between your fingers to make it flat. Then use your needle tool to create the veins of the leaves. Apply a thin layer of oven-baked adhesive onto the stem, and then wrap the bottom part of the leaf around the wire. To make sure your roses don't get smushed when baked, crumple up some foil and stick the stems in so they bake upright. Let's get started on the first vase. I use Sculpey Primo and the color Gray Granite. Create a ball with your clay and then smush the dowel into the middle of it. Pull down on the clay so the top part of it sticks to the dowel. Then press the sides onto your work surface to get that flat shape. Using your blade, cut around where you want the top of your vase to be, then peel off the excess. You may have to scrape some of it off. Then bake in the oven for 15 minutes following the temperature instructions of your clay. While it's still hot, pull the vase off the dowel and then put it back in the oven for 30 minutes. This is optional, but once it's baked and cooled, you can paint on a cool asymmetrical design. On to vase 2. You're going to start this the same way you did the last vase. If you're having trouble getting it to stick to the dowel, use a water-based baby wipe. Shape the bottom of the vase and then cut off the top, leaving a little bit of a neck. Next, you're going to roll out a log of clay and wrap it around the top, cutting off any excess. Using whatever clay tool feels the most comfortable for you, smush the bottom of the log onto the vase. I like to smooth it out with a silicone tool. Use your index finger and thumb to squeeze the top of the vase to create the lip. Once finished, follow the same steps as the last vase to get it off the dowel and baked. Let's move on to the last vase. To get the marble texture on this vase, roll out a small log of black clay and a thicker log out of the white clay. Then keep rolling and twisting until you're happy with how it looks. Make sure not to overmix it though, or else you'll just have gray clay. You're pretty much just going to follow the same steps as the other vases, but for the shape, you're just going to make it a tube. This is the easiest one. Don't forget to press the bottom onto your work surface so you have a flat base. Cut off the top and remove the excess. Repeat the same steps as the other two vases. Now's the fun part where you get to arrange your roses. And we're done! I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you make some roses, please tag me. I'd love to see what you made. Happy crafting!